what we plan, we implement it meticulously. Honorable Speaker, there is no doubt in our mind that the electrification in this country largely has been supported by the poles from the eucalyptus trees. Affordable housing, affordable fencing in our rural smallholder farms, the poles are provided by the eucalyptus trees. Because of its fast growth rate and maturity, and the ban on logging, our timber industry locally is largely also supported by the eucalyptus trees. We can also not wish away the benefits of this tree on our economy and in rural livelihoods. Households that depend on firewood in rural Nyri largely access firewood from this tree. But it is paramount that the plan, in terms of the species that are suitable for certain areas and regions, and also a comprehensive land use plan so that it is only planted in areas designated specifically for eucalyptus growing. It is easy to look on the negative effects, but it is imperative that we also strike the necessary balance so that we do not upset the livelihoods, especially of the vulnerable members of our society. And therefore, while I encourage Honorable Mayaka to pursue this and consult more experts, and especially involve not only the national government, but also the county governments in terms of setting aside zones. In my area, in Nyri and in Mount Kenya region, Honorable Speaker, our tea factories largely rely on wood to process tea. And quite a number of these tea factories have leased lands, some in very unsuitable areas like Kieni, where it is actually eucalyptus should be banned in what we call Kieni, which is 52% of Nyeri County, because it is semi-arid. But on the other side, we have the areas of Tetu, Odaya, and Mathenge, whose economies are also dependent on tea growing and tea processing. And therefore, a delicate balance on both the environmental effects and the economic use that the eucalyptus trees contributes in our country needs to be properly established. The environmental impact assessment reports on areas where eucalyptus is grown large scale ought to inform the direction that we eventually take in amending the Environmental Act. It is critical that we do not upset the apple cart on areas that are largely dependent on this tree without providing a viable alternative to the contributions and the economic use. Honorable Speaker, I support.
Okay, the Honorable Member for Funyula, Honorable Wilberforce Oundo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. And let me thank the young lady Irene Mayaka for bringing this amendment to the Environmental Management and Coordination Act. For the purpose is an act of Parliament to amend the Environmental and Management Coordination Act